There we go. Welcome back, guys, to the 4th week roundup and 5th week fixtures. This is going to be summarising the Tuesday, the 22nd of the 2nd, 2022 games. I put specificity on Tuesday because it was a very symmetrical evening, and we're going to start with the outlier. Which was the Roaring Rovers versus the Undead Failures, which ended in 1-0. Very muted affair, but very contested to the Roaring Rovers. Although, on the whistle, Best Boy was on the touchdown line, about to make it 2-0 on Tuesday. But there was also 2-0 on casualties to the Roaring Rovers. So, keeping with the themes. Moving on to the Mad Cows versus the Warpstone Lovers. 2-0 to the Warpstone Lovers. Again, also winning on casualties. The Mad Cows had some unluckiness, and the coach has come out and said that they probably should have at least scored a touchdown, maybe even drawed. Through everything they got at the wall, nothing came of it. Next fixture, the Daves versus the Hairy Fairies. And you'll start to notice the theme here. On Tuesday, 2-0 to the Daves with 2-0 to the Hairy Fairies on casualties. It was a very simplistic affair. The Hairy Fairies are yet to score a single touchdown, but we've still got 3 games of the season left to play. There's always a good chance that could change at any point. The Daves, simple playing, managed to break the cages up, keep the ball away from their touchdown, and score twice. The final game, which was the Mother's Love versus the Emperor's Eagles. Another 2-0 victory going to the Emperor's Eagles. With casualties, I have had sources tell me, in the 2-0 to Mother's Love. The Emperor's Eagles have experimented now with a halfling and an ogre, and successfully scored one of them, although Speckled Jim is the guy's name, did almost kill himself on the second throw. And I believe unless a replacement is found, they will not have a halfling for the next game, which is going to be a very, very interesting affair. Before we move on to the tables and the updated fixtures, we're going to just quickly mention as well that we are potentially expanding teams. We're going to be having more people join the league, as we've had interest from 5 players, 5 coaches are looking to join the league, bringing our total from 8 all the way up to 13 players, which will mean we will be expanding, if all of these coaches do join, into a Primera and a Segunda T-GOW division. We'll hopefully be using the Season 1 fixture list to see where people start, with all the new coaches coming in at the bottom, with the exception of one, given he's a highly experienced coach. And I will not spoil who that is, but there has been some rumours that it's the one that's coaching the Hairy Fairies. But you didn't hear that from me. Maybe. Moving on now to the tables. As you can see, looking at the top scorers for the league, Neek Sons has taken first place outright, with Best Boy not scoring in the last game, although it was on the touchdown line. It was actually Good Boy who scored for them, so leaving the gap open. So at the top we have Neek Sons on 10, Best Boy on 9, Slow Coach Swimwear and Cess Clip on 4, Herms on 3, Mitchell and Tenderloin on 2, with a bunch of Scrub Lords, and I will scroll for you now, all on 1. Looking to the top passes now, we have Cesar Bowl on 4 completions. We have Tenderloin of the Mad Cows on 3, Best Boy on 2, Long Bomber on 2, with Good Boy, Scrub Blitzer, Sirloin, and Trip Hazard all on 1. The casualties list. We will only do a verbal focus on those that have succeeded more than one, given there is a large amount of people that have scored casualties, with tied for first place, all on 3. We have Bob and Cerberus of Mother's Love, and Razcre and Tuil Scuttle on 3 also. We also have Arquette, Batista and Blaine all on 2 from the Daves, followed by Brisket from the Mad Cows. Mother's Love also has Cannon Fodder and Hades. We have Roaring Rovers with Little Frankie. We have Warpzone Lovers with Modfit Mod. We also have Pharaoh from the Undead Failures and Shank from the Mad Cows. And I will slowly move down so you can see all of your favourite players that are not actually favourite players because they don't score or do much. Going back up to the top, as we now look at the updated table now, you can see top of the table is the Warpstone Lovers on touchdown difference only, with the Roaring Rovers right behind, both teams winning 4, scoring 14 and 10 touchdowns each, and only conceding a very tidy 1. The Emperor's Eagles in solo 3rd place. We have then the Daves, probably Liam, and Mother's Love of Sam, tossing it out for 4th place. We have the Mad Cows and the Undead Failures tying it up at the bottom of the league, with the Hairy Fairies yet to score at the bottom. It is a drab affair for those at the bottom of the table, as they will potentially be looking to go into the Segunda Division, with those at the top going to the Primera. I do believe, though, it is time to hear next week's fixtures. So, without further ado, the fixtures are the Undead Failures. Adam, your team, will be facing the Mad Cows and Stuart. The Roaring Rovers. My team will be facing the Daves, Liam. The Warpstone Lovers, Carl. Your team's going to be going up against Mother's Love and Sam. And the Hairy Fairies versus the Emperor's Eagles. Tom, you're going up against Lewis. It's going to be interesting, considering the Undead Failures and the Mad Cows are both on 9 points. One could jump the other, or if a tie happens, it's just going to drag this out for more than it needs to. We got the Roaring Rovers and the Daves, which is 2nd versus 4th place. Should be an interesting affair, with also 1st going up against 5th. And despite Sam not scoring as much as he probably could with the Mother's Love team, they are 2nd in the table with casualties, with the Warpstone Lovers being 2nd. So, we've seen a combined total of 27 casualties scored between these two teams in 4 games. Should be a very physical affair. The Hairy Fairies and the Emperor's Eagles is probably not the most anticipated game, but it's still going to be an important game nevertheless. We're going to see what the humans do without their halfling, or will they hire another? We don't know yet, but it should be a high-scoring affair, hopefully, and we can also hope that the Hairy Fairies learn how to pick up the small ball and get it to the opposite end of the goal. Remember, dwarves, don't take it home. Take it to their home. That is how you score. That is how you win. And until then, I will be back once these fixtures have been played and I have received the reports and updated all the tables. I look forward to the 5 players that are coming in, which are Lee, Jack, Nigel, Ben, and Kai. All are looking at having a good interest in teams. Next season's definitely going to be interesting, but until then, we're focusing on this season, which seems to be a 2-horse race with an outside chance of the Emperor's Eagles at the top of the table. I will see you guys then. Make sure you have a good fucking day, and Blood Bowl.